Hey everybody, welcome to the Christel Crawford show. It is January 13th, 2020 in real time. And I called this week's episode, How Much Power Do You Have to Use Against Yourself to Not Be the Gift That You Are? So this week, just so you guys know, on video, I'm in an Airbnb in Florida. And I just finished facilitating a 4-day foundation class, which is one of the core classes of Access Consciousness and a total fucking gift. And we had 3 amazing women that went through this class. Hi, Paulina. And I created this topic because I'm starting this, because so many reasons. But one of the things that's happening is I'm starting this program, a 6-month program called Become Money. And in the foundation class, we go through all the different topics about life, living, money, relationships, sex, all this stuff. But inevitably, everybody's got questions about money and how do I change money and how do I actually create my financial reality in a way that works. And one of the most powerful tools that I have ever come across, any money tool ever in the history of my life, has been the How to Become Money workbook. How to Become Money workbook by Gary Douglas. And hi Sonia, hi Reshma. And so I'm starting this 6-month program. You'll see a link for it soon. I'm sure I'll be loud and doing all kinds of videos about it. Basically what we're going to do is every 2 weeks, we're going to go through the entire workbook, which takes 2 to 4 hours. And then the weeks in between, we're going to do something called a revenue stream incubator call. Because for me, money is it's an ongoing facilitation of being all of me. Money is an ongoing facilitation of being all of me. Now, the reason I called this show, How Much Power Do You Have to Use Against Yourself to Not Be the Gift That You Are, is because this is the thing that I see over and over and over that people do to not have money. They use their own power against themselves. Now, I'm not exactly sure where this show is going to go today. I'm going to start talking about a few things and we'll see. But what the question I'd like to ask you is what would it take for you to be willing to take up the challenge of who you truly are? That's the invitation of the How to Become Money workbook. What would it take for you to take up the challenge of who you truly are? See, the thing about money is that you never have a money problem. You just have a being problem. And it's not even a problem. You just have places in your life, hi Claire, where you haven't been choosing to be all of you. I want to give you a few examples and tell you a couple of stories about this that are really, really fresh. Because I just facilitated a foundation class and got to hang out with these amazing women, I have a lot of really recent conversations running around in my world. And one of the conversations I got into with one of the class participants was in and around doing live videos. Now, she's a BARS facilitator, so she works with the Access Consciousness tools. She loves facilitating. Hi, Rita. She's very, very good at sharing on social media. She's got all these pluses going for her, right? She's gorgeous. Hi, Maruna. All these things, right? And she's very aware, and this is what will happen in your world. You will become very aware of when something is pinging you to start doing, right? She's been being pinged by do live videos. People need to see you on video. This has been just buzzing around her head like a little gadfly. Hey Deirdre, hey Patty. So, but the thing is for her is that doing live videos feels like things, right? Like it feels like she can't, it feels like she's gonna run out of things to say. She also is bilingual, so it's well, God, if I do the video in this language and then I don't do it in this language, and then there's all these considerations about showing up and doing live videos. And I can relate to this because literally the show that you're watching right now took me almost 2 years of not doing it to start doing it. Hi Mark. And so I get it, I understand it. But I also know that choosing to do this weekly show and show up with you on live videos is one of the choices I've made in my business career so far that has exponentialized my business. And when you are asking for more money, what's going to show up in your world are ideas and people and conversations and sometimes more money, cash. But most of the time, possibility shows up dressed in overalls and looking like work. Now, work for me is not actually work because I love it. I love to work. I love to work a lot. I love what I do, so it doesn't feel like work. But I read that quote once, and it actually, the original quote that I just like spouted off went like, opportunity shows up in overalls looking a lot like work, right? And that's one of the things you've been pinged to do. Amazing. Anat. Hi, Carol. Hi, Anat. Hi, Imen. So here it is. Here's my friend, and what's showing up in her world is this possibility of doing live videos that she is using so much power to not do. She's thinking about it, she's judging it, she's projecting and expecting on it, she's stopping herself dynamically. Oh, by the way, did you know that you are the only one that can stop yourself? You're the only one. And instead of just using that uncomfort energy, because that's what happens when you start look at doing something new, you get all this uncomfort energy. Instead of using that uncomfort energy to just like dive in and do it wrong, do it badly, do it anyway, she's using all that uncomfort energy to stop herself and overthink and judge. And that's what we do to stop ourselves. We have to stop. For us to stop, by the way, we have all the energy of like a locomotive train on fucking steroids. For us to stop ourselves, we have to use all of our power against ourselves. And that's where all the judgment comes from, and that's where all the thinking comes from. The only way you could stop is if you would judge yourself out of existence, right? Otherwise, if you had no point of view, you'd be just like a kid, right? Kids just... there was this kid in the foundation class. He's so fucking awesome. He's 10 years old. And we had this, we were all hanging out one night around the fire. I rented this amazing big house. And so we had like a pool and a fire and, all this incredible food. And so anyway, we're all outside and he's in and out of the pool just being 10. And one of the conversations that he got us into, he initiated, hi Vivi, hi Dite, was, okay, we're going to play a game. And he's like, the game is going to be called, what is your secret superpower? And he was like, I have all these different secret superpowers. What is yours? And so we went around the circle and like he had each of us like talk about what our secret superpower was. And then it got to him and he had like 6 different secret superpowers and the list kind of kept going. And it was so cool on so many levels because like the first thing I noticed is that it was all very much easier for us adults to talk about our secret superpower with a 10-year-old who had no judgment of that. But then the second thing was like he was so excited to celebrate himself and he had no point of view about that. He knew he was awesome. And so he was just out there busy being awesome. He's like, I'm a great manipulator. Amongst a bunch of other things, right? So there was in his world this incredible celebration of himself, and he just invited us all to celebrate ourselves too, because of course, why wouldn't you? And so it was this unbelievable example of something that we as adults never choose. We don't choose to sit around and look at what's amazing about us today and how we can use that to create more in the world, right? We just look at, hey, what we think is wrong with us, why we can't, what we're sure is going to happen, what we project and expect is going to happen. That's the power we use against ourselves to not be the gift that we are. That question, how much power are you using against yourself to not be the gift that you are? How much? A little bit, a lot, or a megatons? And everything that is times a godzillion, we you destroy and uncreate it all. Right, wrong, good, bad, pot, pock, all nine shorts, boys, and beyonds. And so you can run that clearing. I mean, like if you're into clearings, I'm still figuring out the curls and how these things work. Can you guys tell? Anyway, you can run that as a clearing, but you can also just ask, like, if you get that you're doing this in any area, right? I'm using the example of like someone who's like not choosing to do live videos, even though it's like hitting her on the head. But if you get that you're using power against yourself to not be the gift that you are, go, well, what gift am I that if I would choose to be it would create more money than God? What gift am I that if I would choose to be it would create more money than God? And I circle back around to the moment when I started this show that you guys are watching now so many times, because I can't tell you the number of things this has created for me. Literally, like, we're into year 2.5. We're into the half year mark of season 3, I think, somewhere like that. And my live classes around the world are starting to grow now with people that have been watching my videos 2 years and 3 years. And that's something you should know, is like People actually have to stay connected to you and receive from you for sometimes 3 to 5 years before they ever buy from you. So my live classes are starting to fill now. My online classes are starting to fill now. And I travel places now and people are starting to recognize me just from this one choice. And there's like so much more than that got created through my willingness in my world, just in my willingness to show up every week. And so there's all these futures that got created from one seemingly simple choice that I finally just gave into. And my question for you would be like, what are you currently resisting? How much power are you using? Yes, I am talking to you. How much power are you using to resist what's asking you to give it attention? And if you didn't use that power against you and you could use it for you, what would your life be like? Would it be less or would it be more? And what would it take for you to be willing to have a life that's more? The smaller you create your life, and I mean energetically smaller, the smaller you create your life, the less money will be in your world. That's just true. That's just how it works. Money comes to the party of joy. And, you know, when you look at a kid's world, for example, or that 10-year-old that I was talking about, you know, their world is so like just malleable and whatever and playing with this and trying that and playing, you know, until they figure out judgment, they're being and they play. And so, you know, another kid example, actually, I was in Australia hanging out with Danielle Tooley's 2 kids. They're amazing, Indy and Jay. And I'm probably going to get their ages wrong. I think Indy's 11 and Jay is 8. But so, I mean, we hadn't met before. So the Certified Facilitator class was the first time. And they were kind of just like, I was just another one of their mom's friends for a while. And then one morning I brought in a suitcase full of pearls because I was selling them or showing them or seeing what I could do with them. And so Indy was really curious and she came up and just to see what I was doing. What are you doing over here? You know, and I showed her my pearls and, you know, I said, well, I'm pulling these out to see if people want to buy them. She's like, oh, they're really beautiful. So she really started appreciating them. And I was like, well, do you want to wear some? She was like, what? You know, instantly her world was like, you're going to trust me with those? And I'm like, absolutely. And I said, just, you know, if people ask you where to get these pearls, just let them know they can get them from me. So we put on these pearls and, you know, she felt so amazing and special. And she is amazing and special. Why was I telling you this? I'm going to lose my point. Oh, I know why I was telling you this. So anyways, I know why I was telling you this. So she had on this pearl necklace set and probably combined with the earrings and the necklace, it was about $3,000, $4,000, which for an 11-year-old is a good chunk of change, right? Hey, Linda. Hey, Tina. So, but she was like, oh, and you could see in her world that she was looking at how could I have these for myself? How could I have this reality for myself? You could see the wheels turning. And so I, you know, pretty aware, I noticed. And so I said to her, I said, well, I wonder what you could create to have those. And it was the first time that had really kind of occurred to her that she could create something that maybe would allow her to have this incredible gift in her life. You know, this hi Mark, hi Jenny, necklace and earrings. And I said, well, what kind of sessions do you do? And because I know they know body work, you know, they know bars and they know body work. And so she said, well, I do aura readings. And I was like, oh, you do? That's so cool. How does that work? And so it takes her 2 minutes and she like literally looks at your aura and she tells you what it means. And so, you know, 2 minutes and easy for her. Like she can totally do that. And I said, well, what else do you do? Well, I do bars and I do body work. And I said, oh, that's cool. I said, did you know that there's kids that travel around to all these, hi Wendy, all these major access classes and they make like sometimes over $1,000 just doing sessions on people? Did you know that? She's like, oh, no. I said, yeah. I said, so is there anything you could create that would create more money in your life so that you could have this? And she's like, yeah, okay. And within like, I think it was within like something like an hour or something crazy like that, she had gone around and like read a few auras and she came back with cash. No point of view about money being difficult. No point of view that she couldn't do it. No point of view that if she said this out loud, people were going to judge her. You know, she just did it. She just chose it. The funnier thing was that was cool. The funnier thing was I didn't really realize that her brother Jay, who's younger, I knew he was there. He was with us as we were talking about this, but he didn't have any jewelry on, so I wasn't really directly talking to him. He had been listening, and he got really excited about it and ended up going up on the stage in these big access classes. For those of you guys that have never been to one, there's a stage in the front, and he went up on the stage and got the microphone and said, "Hi everybody, I'm Jay, and I'm going to be at the back of the classroom running bars and body processes for $1 an hour for anybody who wants a session." And Jay made something like $120 that first day. Hi Beck, hi Carrie. So it was these 3 kids that I've been talking about showed me something so dynamic that I really hadn't ever seen so up close before. And it was that space where money is so insignificant and just a choice that in a moment you can just choose it and pop something up and have it. And Gary says that in the foundation manual. He goes, you don't have to be smart to have money. You just have to be willing to ask for it and have it. And those kids showed me exactly what that is. You don't have to be smart to have money. You just have to be willing to ask for it and have it. I was like, oh, so where am I refusing and where am I refusing to be the gift that I am, that if I would just choose to be the gift that I am would create money? Because that's exactly what they did. It's so clear to see with kids that they're a gift. Well, some kids are assholes, but let's just say we'll talk about most of the kids that are actually very cool. It's clear to see with a lot of kids that they're a gift, but we miss it on ourselves. It's like once we grow up and we get into this adult body, it's like our gift goes away. Or like we're no longer the gift that we were. We're now in this big adult body that we get to judge continuously, nonstop, 24/7. So. Yeah, so I looked at their reality and I was like, what would it take to have and choose to be that kind of ease with everything? And that's what I've been really playing with lately. Like if I were willing to have that kind of ease, that mantra that we have in Access Consciousness, say it 10 times in the morning and say it 10 times at night, all of life comes to me with ease and joy and glory. All of life comes to me with ease and joy and glory. It's not just something to say, it's actually something to be. And that's what I'm talking about. How much power do you have to use against you to not be the gift that you are? Like literally, if these kids had sat, it would have been almost ridiculous for us to see these kids sit somewhere after that being suggested and to sit somewhere and go through the litany of why they can't. We would have been like, what do you mean? Have you met you? You're cute. You've got everything going for you. Of course people are going to say yes to you. We would have been sitting in front of that kid doing that crazy shit going, what are you talking about? You're like, just go, But they didn't even stop to do all that shit that we do. They didn't stop themselves. They just went. They were just like, okay, cool. I'll do that. I'll try it. I'll see what happens, So what would that be like for you? Are you currently functioning like that in your life? Or are you doing something else? Right? And that's relentlessly choosing. I love that, Danielle. I would add choosing with absolutely no point of view too, because I love the word relentless. Personally, I have a class called Relentless Profit that I love, and that is a part of it for me. It's being tenacious and relentless. But these kids showed me even a different facet of that, which is that the space and the ease with which they chose had zero significance, zero solidity, zero any of that other stuff that I like too, those force energies. Those are take over them. I'm a lion, they're lions, but they didn't have to do any of those energies to have money. They were just themselves cute. And I think this is the thing that probably sticks us about money more than anything is it can't be that easy. It can't be that easy to just show up and be ourselves and have money, right? We can't just you know what, I'm going to have money today. I wonder what I could create to have it. I wonder what that would take. I wonder who I could ask. I wonder, hey, you know what? And the neighbor across the street has leaves on their lawn. I'm going to just go see if they want me to rake those. Or whatever. We sit in our houses and make ourselves wrong and think about things and overthink things and try to figure things out and try to all the power we're using against ourselves to not be the gift that we are. So here's the thing about being a gift is you don't have to believe you're a gift to choose to be it. As a kid, school fundraiser selling felt heavy to me. Cool. You don't have to believe that you're a gift to choose it. You do have to choose to be it. And fun fact, I have a store called clubchoicegear.com if you want to go check that out. They're my English is broken today. The stuff that's in the shop right now is all around awareness is the new black. That's our latest collection. Awareness is the new black. And we've got phone cases and t-shirts and all that stuff. And if you want that stuff, go get it because it's about to be changed into a new collection, which is going to be the Fuck It, I'm a Gift collection. Fuck it, I'm a gift. Fuck it, I'm a gift. Overthinking about doing live videos. I don't know that. Fuck it, I'm a gift. I'm just going to show up on live video and just fuck it up royally. Fuck it, I'm a gift, right? And that for me has been what's required to move forward financially. I have had to, apparel. Yes, thanks, Vivi. I have had to, in so many different 10-second increments, in so many different moments, go, fuck it, I'm a gift. And just show up anyway. So I guess the show is really more sort of a talking in and around the topic, and in the hopes that you start to recognize maybe where you're doing that, maybe where you could make a different choice. The tool to use if you are, doing it, fuck. My favorite tools for this particular topic are two. Fuck it, I'm a gift, and never mind. Those would be my favorite tools. When you get into the shits and you're like, overthinking and doing all that brain stuff, just do anything to change that would be my favorite tools. But I guess my third favorite tool would be like if you are choosing to stop yourself from something is next, like it's pinging you, and you're just not doing it, would be to just let yourself enjoy your misery. Because here's the thing, guys, the bottom line with changing anything, and I know I've said this before and I'm going to say it a billion more times, I love you too, Maruna, hi Patty, is that the humanoids, us creative folks in the world, humanoids, we only change things when we're bored. And that's the thing about money. Is like, first of all, we don't have a money problem. We just have a creation, right? We've just got we have a creation of less than, or a creation of not enough. And what's really going on is we're not choosing to be the gift that we are. We're not choosing to be all that we are. If we were choosing to be all that we are, we'd never have a problem. We would just be ourselves and create what we wanted. Hi, Jamie. So to change money, you've got to get yourself to the space of, fuck it, I'm a gift. And of course, that's what the money workbook is for. I've gone through that workbook now at least 35 times. And Gary says go through it 100. If you want to have $100 million in your life, go through that workbook 100 times. So I'm on my way. We're getting there. This year will be another, every 2 weeks for 6 months is 12 more. So this year will be another 12 or maybe more. And so going through that workbook, creates for you the space where you actually get to be. Power, awareness, creativity, control, money. That's what's really true about you. That's the crazy thing I think about this whole money thing. And I know I'm not finishing any sentences today. I'm so aware this is so ADD. But that's the thing about money is like, what's really true about you is that you're a gift. That's actually what's true. But the way we function in the world and the way we function with money is as if we're not. That's how we function. Like, you would only choose not to do live videos if you're certain you're gonna fuck it up. You're certain. I'm using live videos like a fiend today, and you're just gonna have to take your thing and insert it there. But for what reason would you choose to not do those? I'm certain I'm gonna fuck it up. I'm certain I won't have anything to say. I'm certain that somewhere in me is a wrong thing that's gonna get exposed on live video. I'm 100% sure of it. I'm saying it like it's a fact because of course it is. Whereas if we were functioning from a totally different space of like, oh my God, I'm such a gift. Like, what can I create to put this gift into some sort of form people can partake of me? We're not functioning from there. I mean, that would be amazing. We'd live in a totally different world. Instead, we live in this world where we just judge ourselves nonstop, 24/7. For what reason? because we do. Because we do. Because we're certain at the base of everything that we're wrong and bad and vicious and mean and awful. So for me, I don't know where you're at with this. I don't know what it is you're willing or not willing to choose in regards to this. Money changes when you're willing to have it and you just make a different choice. But you'll only make a different choice and head in a different direction with the creation of money when you're when you're bored of what you're already choosing. And I guess that was the point I didn't make like 5 minutes ago. Humanoids only change things when they're bored. You don't change things from the judgment of them or from making yourself wrong enough, or we change things when we're just bored. Literally, I didn't start this show until I was so bored with not starting it that one day I just scheduled it and sent an email so that I'd fucking show up for you guys. So here we are today. So one of the questions you could ask is, what would it take to get bored faster? But also, like, how much allowance can I have for me right where I'm at? And then what would it take and what would I like to really create as the world? You know, if it's about videos, what do you wish existed that you're the source of? What do you wish existed in the world that you're the one to create? Nobody talks about things like you do. Nobody expresses things like you do. Nobody thinks about things like you do. Words don't come out of your mouth like they come out of my mouth, or Dane's mouth, or any mouth. No words don't come out of your mouth like they come out, like, hey, Prina, hey, Adele. So what are you the source of that you haven't yet claimed? And if you were willing to be the source of it, what could you create? And how much money would show up to support you? And so this is just one facet of the money conversation. It's a massive facet. It's like, half the stone or whatever. It's a big one. And there's more. But the bottom line is that you don't have a money problem. You've got a being choice. You've got something you're choosing to be that isn't the gift of you. And you're using all the power you have to not be it. To not be the gift that you are takes an immense amount of power. And so there's so many cool things about that. If you have that amount of power to not be the gift, you have that same amount of power to choose to be the gift. And what would that be like? And what would you have to choose, ask, be, to have your reality with total ease? And I'll finish with these 2 questions that I gave my foundation class this week. I'm like, what's time? What is my reality and where do I find it? What's my financial reality and where do I find it? If I weren't functioning as anybody else, or trying not to be this while trying to be this, while judging myself for being that, that's getting kind of boring. If I were willing to be the gift that I am, what's my reality? And where do I find it? Fuck it, I'm a gift. And trust me, I'm so excited for that new collection to come out, man. Everyone's getting swag. You get a car, you get a car, you get a car. You guys will know I've made it when I'm just like sending you free t-shirts. You get a t-shirt. Don't pay me, I don't care. Oh, that's funny. Anyway, I want to invite you to just keep your eyes peeled for Become Money. It's coming. It's going to be an amazing program. And if you're really ready to change money in your world, like forever, come play with us. And also, like, if that's not your thing, go find the How to Become Money workbook. You can go to ChristelJoyCrawford.com/myfavorite-things, and there's a link for it right there, because that's one of my favorite things. And just know that it's not one of those things that you just go through once. You need to go through it every 2 weeks until money changes for you. And I guess that's it on that topic. I'm sorry, I'm trying to get my computer to respond. So the other thing is that right now, in this moment, in real time, it's 3:30. I am going into the Awareness Challenge right now, which is my free Facebook group, to launch a new 30-day challenge, which is where we do one access tool 30 times a day for 30 days. So I'm going now to go over there and do that. And you're invited. If you haven't yet joined the Awareness Challenge, I can't recommend it enough. It's a game-changing group. And so come join me now if that's something that you're into. The Awareness Challenge, how aware are you? A free Facebook group. And out of that free Facebook group, if you end up liking me being live every day, doing it with you, you can join the Advanced Awareness Challenge, which is $20 a month. But first step is get into that group. Come on over now. We're going to go start a new challenge. What would it take for you to be willing to take up the challenge of who you truly are? What would it take for you to begin to choose what you'd really like to be with yourself? And how much power do you have to use against yourself to not be the gift that you are? I'm grateful for you. Share this if you loved it, and I'll see you next week.